Hello my friends, my name is Artur Rehi and I am an Estonian soldier.
Selles videos tutvustan ma teile pataljoni ja siinseid võimalusi.
USA has a plan to buy 2,000 F-35s, which is insane, it's crazy. One of them costs so much that this plan is too ambitious, I think. F-35s are the most involved fighter plane in the world. It's a 5th generation fighter. No other country in the world has a proper 5th generation fighter. But what about the 6th generation fighters? Today we are going to watch what will come in the future. The country that will have those fighters first will dominate the airs, and let me tell you, it's going to be the US. Guess who's back? Rohje's back. Oh man, I've had this watch for a long time now. Hasn't let me down once. Which of these two watches is your favorite? The reindeer leather strapped one or the metallic bronze one? Both of them from Finland, from Rohje, best watch company in the world. If you also want a cool watch just as this one, go and get it. The link is in the description below. It hasn't let me down, so it won't let you down. Go and grab your Estonian YouTuber cup and let's go. Yeah!
Modern aircraft are marvels of human technological progress and represent a nation's air superiority and military might. The current 5th generation of fighters are complex and sophisticated machinery designed to be a significant improvement over the earlier 4th or 4+ generation of fighters which dominates most of a country's air forces. Developed after spending billions of dollars and years of research, the 5th generation type of fighter was first deployed by the United States Air Force in the form of the F-22 Raptor and later the F-35 Joint.
Wait, F-22 Raptor was already the 5th generation. I didn't know this. Yeah, all of you guys say F-22 is far better than the F-35, but both of them are 5th generation. F-22 is supposed to be better in a dogfight, taking down other fighters, but F-35 is multi-purposed. It's kinda good in dogfights, but it's also very good air support to the boots on the ground.
Joint strike fighter, but they're not alone in fielding a 5th generation fighter anymore. China has developed its Chengdu J-20, or the Mighty Dragon, and Russia with their Sukhoi Su-57, which saw combat action recently over Syria. With these new fighter jets out of the design phase and being actively produced, you can bet that the military-industrial complex of various countries has already begun work on the next generation of fighter aircraft, or better known as the 6th generation fighter. So what makes up a 6th generation fighter jet? Because so many new technologies are top secret or classified concerning this new generation, there's little information about what this generation of fighter is going to be like, look like, and what kind of
Hey, let me guess. It's going to be able to not turn invisible to the eye, but yeah, it's gonna turn invisible. I said it, yeah. It's gonna be invisible, hey.
Fantastic weapons it's gonna have. However, we have some current information on some of them. Many countries are busy right now working on their 6th generation fighters, and we've been given a sneak peek at what's to come.
What if you put a railgun on a fighter? I know it's pointless, but that would be cool. Invisible 6th generation fighter with a railgun. Whoa! And a 20mm Gatling gun. USA, don't produce 6th generation fighters. Take that money and make it all into A-10 Warthogs. Imagine how many you could have. Thousands of them. Yeah, do that.
So far, some aircraft manufacturers have released small amounts of information, including artists' renderings of projects that are in the works to the public. There are also a couple of 6th generation fighter jets that have full-sized mock-ups. One thing we can be sure of is that this will build upon the improvements of the 5th generation fighters and will definitely include technologies like all-aspect stealth, supercruise, thrust vectoring, and advanced data links. On top of that, it'll also feature advancements in radar-absorbing coating materials, improved IR suppressants.
These materials are a huge deal. The better these materials are, the smaller of a dot your plane is on the enemy radar. And US F-35 is supposed to be like a bumblebee. Tiny insect on a radar. Basically you cannot see it. It's so stealth. We talked about the B-2 bomber that is invisible on the radar. You cannot shoot it down because It is undetectable. Well, F-35 is also. And it is fast as hell. US having stealth fighters, it is frightening Russia and China because they need to be able to shoot those fighters down, relying on their radars, which are pointless now.
Or thermal signature management, evolved radar-eluding configurations, and acoustic reduction technologies. These fighters are also rumoured to feature larger airframes, more efficient and more powerful engines, to be unveiled as early as 2028. They'll also be equipped with visual range missiles and have the ability to protect themselves against newer surface-based missile defences. However, what becomes most interesting is the significant major technological leaps needed to take place in order to separate these aircraft from their previous generations. Aircraft generations, as they're called, are used to classify separate categories for major technological leaps in the history of jet fighter development. However, there are no hard and fast rules when it comes to defining an aircraft's generation.
Yeah, who makes the definement? 4.5 generation, 5th generation. You know who is making it. I think the US is making it, because US is leading the competition with their planes, and as soon as it comes out with a new revolutionary plane, it is immediately a new generation, and the whole world will follow or buy the US planes. That's how the generations are set, I think. Welcome back, my friends, to the Estonian Soldier hat competition. If you are taking part in this, if you have put some points behind your state, if you have gotten the hats, you stand on a very high pedestal in my eyes, because this supports the channel. This makes me know that you guys like this competition and my videos. This is a very direct way to let me know that you appreciate what I do. Thank you. We have Cadence Ramos, Amarillo, Texas. With this, Texas will take the lead for the first time in this competition. Oh my god, I was waiting for this moment to happen. I knew it was kind of happening, but I was hoping maybe California and Arizona could beat Texas. It could still happen, but right now, it's going to take the lead. Makes me worried a bit. 18. We have Brian Perry, West Allis, Wisconsin. 6th one for Wisconsin, baby. We have a very cool name, maybe an ancient Greek god, Theos Giamphi. What a strange family name, man. What a strange first name. A Greek god. Spring, Texas. There's no stopping Texas. 19 already. Other states, do something, please. We have Erik Wiaka or Wiacha. I don't know, it sounds native. Erik could be an Estonian name. I think its origins come from Norway or Denmark or something. Zuni, New Mexico. 9 for New Mexico. Edgard Bermudez. Yes, Edgar could be an Estonian name, but Edgard, the D in the end, makes it something else. Davenport, Florida. 15 points for Florida. If Florida picks it up a little bit, catch up to Texas and Arizona, baby. Thank you for getting the hats. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It's a bit of a lower time for my channel right now, and you guys are supporting it. Makes me feel better. Thank you. Back to the video.
For example, fighter jets like Russia's Su-30s or United States Fa-18E Super Hornets are much more capable than the normal 4th generation fighters. Thus, these jets are more accurately classified as 4.5 or 4+ generation fighters. The major difference between them being the presence of an active electronically scanned radar, AESA, enhanced avionics, and the capacity for data linkages. 5th generation, on the other hand, represents an enormous leap in stealth technology that's been made in recent years. 5th generation fighters are characterized by the presence of all aspect stealth features, including the ability to carry weapons in internal bays to maintain that stealth. Also improved avionics, flight controls, maneuverability, and increased situational awareness. In recent years, a lot of research has been done in unmanned aerial vehicles, and many believe that the next 6th generation jet fighter will be either completely unmanned or have the ability to have a pilot as per the mission requirement. Imagine.
What? Unmanned? What do you mean? You just fly from the base? That's a drone. That's just a huge drone that is as big as a fighter jet. That's a fighter jet drone. It's a good idea. Sounds a bit off. What do you think about it? A fighter plane without a pilot. Switching all the pilots to the drones. Hey, the robots took our jobs!
Fighter jets cruising the skies that are remotely controlled. That future looks like it's on its way soon. Some may also have the ability to operate in conjunction with other unmanned assets in the air and fight as a swarm of unmanned aerial vehicles to overwhelm enemy defenses. The advantages of unmanned aerial vehicles are quite obvious. With a UAV, air forces are not risking the lives of highly skilled pilots over enemy territories in combat missions, which can cause fatalities. Which means they can undertake very risky missions which would be impossible for a piloted aircraft. Also, without the human factor involved, UAVs can fly much longer missions and can carry out continuous operational
Okay, that is true. They are replacing the weakest link in the system with a machine, which is a human actually. Humans need to eat, drink and sleep, and they get dizzy and, you know, they cannot focus sometimes. It doesn't happen with a machine, so if you replace that, you can fight as long as you want, anywhere if you want to. Nobody's going to get killed except for the enemy. Hoo-ha, my friends, let's do it!
Sorties at a moment's notice, without the problem of being tired or having to take downtimes in between missions.
Yeah.
3 6th-generation fighter concepts in the same line of thought have been released by the United States, United Kingdom, Germany, Spain and France. These fighter concepts utilize
all of them are allies, I'm glad to see that.
The unmanned feature in various degrees. Spain, France and Germany have already begun work on the new generation fighter, or NGF, which is built in collaboration with Airbus Defence and Space Corporation and France's Dassault Aviation. This incredible new fighter jet will integrate next-generation weapon systems by working together with unmanned wingmen in the form of autonomous drones such as the XQ-58A Valkyrie. Developed as a partnership between the Air Force Research Laboratory and Kratos Unmanned Aerial Systems that can fill electronic warfare, strike and surveillance roles. It'll be controlled by the piloted aircraft or operate on its own and can carry a small payload of bombs. It's possible it could carry missiles or other weapons, increasing a pilot's total ordnance. The Loyal Wingman drone has a range of just under 2,500 miles and can fly out ahead of a fighter as a scout.
2,500 miles. Oh, so it goes up with the plane and is it attached to the plane and it can detach itself and scout ahead, making sure it's safe, and it can also it has weapons on its own. So you have a pilot flying a jet that has a drone on it. This is, I wanted to say an overkill, but maybe it isn't. It's just another way to project your force even more.
And it carries advanced sensor and communication suites to provide the pilot with a real-time picture of the battlefield. One of the major advantages is that it could take enemy fire in place of the piloted aircraft if things went bad quickly. And only costing $2 to $3 million per vehicle, it's far more effective to have a drone take a hit.
Yeah, I know it is cheap compared to the price of the fighter jet, but still in the civilian world it is a lot of money. But yeah, if F-35 costs over $130 million, then yeah, you can toss away 2 here, toss away 2 there, no big deal. It's cheap, let's make it!
Instead of a $100 million fighter jet. These drones will be connected to the new generation fighter and will share situational information with the pilot using high-speed data transfer from low-Earth satellites. They'll also carry advanced sensors and communication suites to provide the pilot with a real-time picture of the battlefield. The only drawback to the XQ-58A Valkyrie is its speed, which tops out at 652 miles per hour, while the F-16 or F-22 can travel at 1,500 miles per hour.
Ooh, 3 times as much
China
almost.
has also built their version of the Wingman drone called the LJ-1, which looks amazingly like the US drone, the General Atomics MQ-9 Reaper.
Amazingly like it. I guess they spied on the US and just copied and pasted it. That's what communist governments do usually. Look at the Cold War.
Unlike the other drones we just talked about, the LJ-1 can be set up to make a one-way trip with a high explosive payload which turns into a cruise missile. And it's designed to imitate
we're talking, yeah, of course an Asian country does it. We're talking about a kamikaze drone like right now. It's a drone, it can come back and go, but if you want it to be real destructive, you can just turn it into a cruise missile and drive it into a ship or a fighter jet or an aircraft carrier, if you can get close to any. This is a full-out kamikaze drone.
Fighters, and under some circumstances, even 5th generation jets. It can function as a radar jammer, and it can be armed with many different missiles. One interesting thing to note about this drone is that it was on display at the MAX 29 air show at Zhukovsky Air Base in Russia in an effort to sell the design to interested countries. The NGF aircraft will also feature the next...
I don't know if any Western governments want to buy weapons and technology from you, China. Let's sell our drone, which is basically selling intelligence, but it comes from China. So obviously, if you sell it and use it, they will spy on you somehow with it. So, hey, if you're a president of a country, don't buy anything from China, except for the civilian goods. Let weaponry, don't do it. Bad idea.
Fighter engine, which is currently under development by the MTU Aero Engines and Safran. The new generation fighter is intended to replace the fleet of Eurofighter Typhoons and FA-18 Hornets currently in service with these nations and operate alongside the F-35 Lightning II fighters. Similarly, the United States Navy and the United States Air Force have also released plans for their 6th generation fighter program named FA-XX and FX respectively.
Hey, it's a Boeing logo here. We don't know who is going to get the contract. It might be Lockheed Martin, might be Boeing, might be somebody else, Saab. I don't know, the Swedish company Saab. They make planes, right? We don't know who's going to get the contract, but it's a huge deal. Who gets the contract? They will make the future.
The US Navy's FA-XX program, dubbed as the Next Generation Air Dominance Fighter, is intended to replace the fleet of FA-18 Hornets by the mid-2030s. Not a whole lot is known about this program, but the Navy has opted for an open architecture design so that the aircraft can be reconfigured for different mission requirements. Moreover, it would have the ability to be flown as manned or without a pilot, and should be able to mitigate land, air, and sea threats equally.
So I see the 6th generation big time is about non-pilot things. It can just be a robot, be a drone, no pilot. F-35 cannot be flown without a pilot, so that's a huge distinction, I think, with the 5th and 6th generation. Pilot or no pilot.
Such an approach, looking beyond isolated systems and weapons themselves, envisions expansive, networked combat with war platforms operating as nodes in a larger warfare system of weapons and sensors working together in real time.
Whoa.
On the opposite spectrum, the US Air Force's FX program, referred to as Penetrating Counter...
Imagine, what it was talking about right now was, if you fly 10 F-35s, you have 10 pilots, 10 different brains have to communicate each other and coordinate on the battlefield. If all of them are 6th generation fighters, 10 of them, they don't have human brains inside, they're one linked intelligence system, AI, whichever controls it, and they can adjust and read each other's signals in real time, leaving out one communication link, which is the human. So they can fight faster, move faster, react faster, and as a group, not separately. So this will make many fighter jets at once attacking much more efficient because they can communicate with each other in real time, which if humans are in between of that link cannot happen. Human communication takes time, humans are slow, so this is crazy actually. This is the future, this is what robots taking over the world means. We are not needed anymore.
Rare will prioritize air-to-air superiority and will be designed to meet threats that current F-22 and F-15 Eagle cannot. The new platform will have a variety of new capabilities to achieve air superiority. Improvements will be made in the areas of basing and logistics, communications, intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance, command and control, as well as incorporating existing and future electronic warfare and weapons platforms like directed energy weapons. On the other side of the Atlantic, the United Kingdom has also released its own 6th generation fighter concept in the form of the Tempest project, currently under development by a consortium led by BAE Systems. Tempest is being designed to fly unmanned, and new sensor fusion technology development will allow the jet fighter to control swarms of drones to help with various mission requirements.
It's all about the drones, I'm telling you. Swarms of drones. Every defense system in the world it is possible to overwhelm them. They are not designed to take on swarms of enemy, but rather one enemy at a time, destroy it, take the next one. Even if they destroy that one really quickly, they have to do it one at a time. Drones mean you can swarm, you can overwhelm any defense system. So if you have a fighter jet with small swarms of drones, that will overwhelm a rocket system, whatever. You can penetrate through enemy air defense systems and make a lot of damage. So this is a huge thing here.
The Tempest will also incorporate artificial intelligence, which will help it deflect potential cyber attacks. The jet is also rumoured to be fitted with advanced laser weapon systems, and it's also possible that this aircraft could be battery powered instead of being powered by a jet engine. It could also end up having a hybrid propulsion system. Although an intriguing concept, it's doubtful that such a propulsion system will be ready for action when the jet aircraft enters service in 2035.
A big question, can it take off vertically? I know it's not necessary. If you have an airfield, it's really expensive to make a plane take off vertically. But if you can, it is cool.
The Tempest program is also developing a new information sharing capability known as Co-Operative Engagement Capability. This will allow the jet to share information recorded by its sensors with other aircraft or ground support to better coordinate attacks. Another amazing advance is the pilot's helmet-mounted display that'll create a virtual cockpit using augmented reality technology. While 6th generation fighters will mostly feature some form of...
It's basically like VR, but you're in a real battle situation, but you also have VR goggles on, so you're getting everything really and virtual reality. You're getting double reality basically.
Unmanned capability.
Too much reality
it's
for me.
It's important to note that removing the human factor completely from the equation inherently comes with its own problems. Various technological limitations can hamper the operational capabilities of an unmanned platform, such as communication delays, its inability to perform complex combat maneuvers during dogfights, and also the risk of being hijacked by a cyber attack. This is one of the major problems with unmanned systems, which became painfully evident to the United States in 2011 when Iran was able to bring down its advanced stealth drone, the RQ-170 Sentinel, being operated by US Air Force and the Central Intelligence Agency to gather intelligence over the region.
Oh damn, I didn't think about that. Yeah, what if you have one fighter jet with a swarm of drones, all of them quite expensive actually, and an enemy cyber attacks them? I don't know how this works, but yeah, they can hack into them. Apparently, there's no human factor, so you cannot give the controls away to a human. The enemy will just have your drones. They can ram the jet or do whatever they want with them, bring it down if they want to. So you cannot cut the human out completely.
While these countries are focusing on unmanned platforms for their 6th generation fighters, Russia, on the other hand, is developing its next generation of fighter to be a hypersonic stealth interceptor. The Mikoyan MiG-41 project is being designed to become an interceptor of hypersonic missiles currently in development by the Western countries by carrying a multifunctional long-range interceptor missile system, MPKRDP, that'll dispense several sub-missiles in order to increase the chance of intercepting hypersonic weapons. The aircraft will feature ramjet engines to achieve speeds of Mach 4+, and according to some reports, will have the capability of flying at the edge of space, although these are not yet confirmed.
This is Russia, yeah. These are not yet confirmed. All of the information you get about new Russian technology is very nice and good on paper. That's what they're good at. They would scare the world with their illusory designs, but to build those designs, it is expensive as hell. And if you look at the GDP of Russia, they would have to put their whole economy into it to build those things en masse. Which US can actually do, and Russia can't. They can only draw it on paper. Maybe produce 100, 200, but not 2,000 as the US. Now we know what is expecting us for the next 15 years in the air forces of the world's countries. US will be leading that game, Russia and China will be trying to keep up. Maybe they'll keep up, but they cannot outproduce, so in the end it doesn't matter. It's win or go home, and US is going to win. Thank you for watching, my friends. Thank you for supporting the channel. That means becoming a Patreon, getting the Estonian YouTuber Cup, getting the Estonian Soldier hat. You are amazing. Until my next video, stay cool and bye bye.